Next question we ask, if she's dateable, what dictates her value? And when we're talking about a woman understanding her value, she needs to understand who created her and what he paid for her. God crafted and created woman with purpose, with a mission, with his heart, with a unique design. And I thank God that he created women. But what's so amazing about that is because the God of the universe is your creator, that means that you have more value than you could ever comprehend. And not only did he create you, but he is so good that he created you distinctly in his image. Genesis 1:27 says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. You are made in the image of God, and the purpose of your life is to bear his image, to represent his image. That when you live, you're not living for yourself. You're living as a representative of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, who is in love with you, who is obsessed with you, has given you so much purpose, and that's where your value comes from. You're not just made up by random chance. You're not just here for some watered down version of life. You are a daughter of the King of Kings. And men, you want a princess. You want someone who sees themselves as such. Because then when she understands her value, when she understands what she was put on earth to do, there is a confidence and an assurance about her that will change your life. That's why you shouldn't settle for anything less than a woman who understands who her father is, what she was made for. A woman who isn't obsessed with her own image, but being an image bearer. A woman who seeks to serve that God who created her. What's even more crazy is he did not stop at simply making man and woman in his image, but he paid an immense price to be with them forever. And men, do not settle. You make sure you care for her enough to say, hey, I'm not gonna get into this with you. There's nothing more important about this relationship than a relationship with God. And point her to where her value comes from, her creator and what he was willing to pay, the blood of his son. And if she knows that, you've got yourself a woman that is dateable. But the reality is I think a lot of people, a lot of ladies, they know in their minds that through the blood of Jesus, they're set free, but they don't live like it. 1 Peter 3, verse 3 says this, do not let your adorning be external. So do not let the reason why people praise you or adore you be from anything on the outward. The braiding of hair, or the putting on of gold jewelry, or the clothing you wear. But let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable, it means it will not fade, the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit in God's sight is very precious. For this is how the holy women who hoped in God used to adorn themselves. 1 Peter here is saying the external is not what makes a woman valuable. Then what is it? If it's not if she's just hot or not, if she's actually holy, what does it look like for a girl to be holy? He says in verse 4, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. And men, may we be men who do not feed and help the enemy in convincing women that they have to be both a 10 physically and spiritually, and create these unrealistic expectations that keeps them chasing and chasing and chasing and striving and striving and striving. May we be men who does not celebrate and lead them to believe that it's about the outward, but be men who chase after the inside of a woman, the heart, her soul. The last thing we should be asking is, can she follow you? The Bible tells us the roles of how Christ is the head of every man, and the man the head of a woman. The head of Christ is God, and so there's these roles we see, not ranks, these roles. Whereas the man's responsibility, the opportunity to get to lead and servant lead his woman. But in order to do that, there are things that he must be for her to feel like he is worth following, he is worth respecting. But she has to be able to see the right things and be able to tell the right things. She is dateable if she's able to follow you. But first, you have to ask yourself, as the leader, I had to turn it back to the men for just a moment. You have to be able to ask yourself, and you and the community around you of brothers should be able to say, yeah, when I read this, you are that man. You are someone she can follow. Now, we don't know yet. We're about to talk about if she actually can, but you are someone that is living for the Lord, that you are living this way, that we would happily send you to go and pursue a woman that is dateable. Because the reality is if you find a girl who hasn't given her heart to Jesus, who hasn't found her value in the blood of Jesus and the price paid for her, the reality is that she won't follow you. She's going to need you. She's going to desperately need you to be the source of her life, the lifeline to her joy and satisfaction and significance. But then also to that, I know that guys, you could be feeling the same thing right now. That man, do girls like this really exist? Or do relationships like this really exist? Could I be a man like this who really exists? Could God really provide something like this? Because I think that some of you are not convinced that you are worthy of a love life like this. And I will tell you something. Jesus rewrites history. He takes everything about your past and he redeems it. He changes it. He makes you new, but Jesus rewrites history. His love for you can change the way that you love others, the way that you experience love and intimacy with others. And I know for some of you girls, you might be like, check, I'm dateable. Where are they? Let's just be real. I mean, some of you are like, hello, beep, beep, can I get a neon sign? I would say to you, be patient. Be patient and have perspective. Never lose perspective on all that you have available to you in your already abiding relationship with Jesus. It's enough. Even when it doesn't feel like it. Even in those lonely hours, I've been there, it's enough. And trust me, you don't want to settle. You'd rather be 40 and single than 40 and miserable in a relationship with someone that wasn't putting in the work to be this kind of person. When you are in a relationship, it should feel so right. Joy should come out of it. Love should come out of it. Peace, not chaos. Excitement for what God is doing and the story that he's writing in your life. That should be what you're experiencing if it's marked by someone who is truly dateable God's way. But you only know that if you're willing to go through the hard work, asking the right questions, making the right changes in your life to say, I will not date how culture tells me to date. I will not settle for anyone who does not understand their value and worth from Jesus. I will do this the right way. And if you will experience life on mission. You will experience life in an amazing way according to what God designed. That's what he wants from you. Anything else, you're settling. But there's better. Because of Jesus, this is possible. And I want it to be possible for every person in this room. Whether single, dating, engaged, married, whatever stage, you understand where your worth comes from and it changes the way you live your life.